Hi everyone, I'm Miss Teresa and I'm a prevention specialist with the Council on Chemical Abuse. Thank you all for joining me on this video to celebrate World No Tobacco Day. So today we're going to talk a little bit about the dangers of tobacco, especially cigarettes. And to get started, I have some activities that I want you to do with your family at home. And to do the first activity, what you're going to need is some stickers. Any stickers will work. So whatever kind of stickers you have handy, go ahead and grab them and then hit play when you're ready to start. Once you have your stickers, what we're going to do is try to think of all the body parts that become damaged when someone smokes cigarettes. So if you know any body parts that become hurt or become damaged from smoking cigarettes, start to call them out. And you can do this with your brothers or your sisters or your friends, whoever is in your house right now to play with you. And we're going to put these stickers on the body parts that become hurt or become damaged when somebody smokes cigarettes. So let's hear those different body parts that become damaged from smoking cigarettes. Who knows one? What about your brain? When your brain becomes damaged from smoking cigarettes, so you can put one on your head. What about your nose? Your nose also becomes damaged from smoking cigarettes because it ruins your sense of smell. And of course, your brain becomes damaged because you get addicted, which we're going to talk a little bit more about. What about your skin, right? So you can put a sticker anywhere on your skin because it causes wrinkles from smoking cigarettes. What about your lungs? We're going to talk a little bit more about lungs. But your lungs, of course, are what help you breathe. And when you smoke, you're breathing in chemicals, so they become damaged. And also your heart. So you can, again, put another one on your chest for your heart and for your lungs. Your heart is what pumps blood throughout your body. And of course, smoking cigarettes hurts your circulation, hurts your blood. Your eyes too, right? When you smoke, that smoke can go into your eyes and hurts your eyes. And also your mouth. I can't really put one over my mouth right now because I'm talking to all of you, but you can put one over your mouth because it hurts your tongue and your teeth, right? And your voice. So maybe you want to even put one on your throat. This is pretty silly, huh? For your throat, right? It can hurt your hands and your feet and your fingers. So maybe you want to put one on your hand. So I know it's pretty silly to be covered in all these stickers, and we could be going on and on and on and be completely covered in all of these stickers, because the truth is that smoking hurts every single part of the body. There's not any organ that isn't affected or isn't damaged from smoking. So in reality, we should be completely covered with all these stickers, which maybe would be kind of hard and kind of silly to do. And I know it's funny because it's stickers, but if this was actually, the yucky stuff that's in cigarettes that was on us, that wouldn't be so funny. So again, the point of this activity is just to show you how when we smoke cigarettes, every single part of our body becomes hurt, becomes damaged from those cigarettes. And so then carefully, you can take your stickers off, throw them in the trash. Thank you for playing that game with me. And we're going to get ready for our next game. And for our next activity, what you need is a straw. So once you got all your stickers off, you want to let me grab my straws, some straws. So once you have your straw ready, you can come back and do the next activity with me. So go grab a straw and I'll be waiting for you. So once you have your straw, what I need you to do first is actually you're going to put your hand on your heart. So put your hand on your heart, and if you're sitting like I am right now, your heart should feel pretty calm, right? I'm not really doing much, just sitting here, so my heart feels nice and calm. So if you're also sitting, your heart should feel pretty calm. So what I'm going to have you do is next, I want you to do 10 jumping jacks as fast as you can. You got to make sure you do 10, okay? So jumping jacks is, again, when you put your arms out, and you jump and you raise your arms over your head, okay? Now make sure that you have enough space to do these jumping jacks, that you're not going to hit anybody or hurt yourself while you're jumping. So when you're ready, we're going to count to 10 and do 10 jumping jacks. Ready? Go. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So if you actually did the 10 jumping jacks, unlike me, I know, I didn't do them because I want to make sure that you could see me. You're going to put your hand back on your heart and you're going to feel it and see if it feels any faster. It should, since you were just jumping around and doing the jumping jacks, your heart should feel faster. So after you feel your heart, what I want you to do this time is you're going to do 10 jumping jacks again. And again, as fast as you can, count to 10, do 10 jumping jacks. But as soon as you're done, you're going to take your straw, you're going to breathe through your straw as soon as you're done with your jumping jacks. All right? So don't breathe through your straw until you're done with your jumping jacks. So let's first do the jumping jacks. Ready? Go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. All right, now breathe through your straw. So if you actually did the 10 jumping jacks and you're breathing through the straw, it's probably a little bit more difficult to breathe through that straw than it is to just breathe normally. And sometimes you might even feel even a little bit dizzy, a little bit lightheaded. Obviously, if you're not feeling good, don't keep breathing through the straw. You can breathe normally, but the point is to show how it can feel when somebody smokes. Because what smoking does is it actually speeds your heart up. It makes your heart beat a lot faster. Just like when you're doing those jumping jacks, right? Your heart gets a lot faster. So your heart's beating a lot harder, a lot faster, because it's like you were just doing those jumping jacks and doing them really fast and really hard. But it constricts your airways. So unfortunately, your lungs make it more difficult to breathe. So it's harder, more difficult to breathe. So it feels like you just did all those jumping jacks, but you're breathing through a straw because your lungs, your airways become tighter. They become more constricted, just like if you had to breathe through this straw. So it speeds your heart up and constricts your airways. And that's why, again, a lot of times you can be out of breath, right? You can be huffing and puffing and having a difficult time breathing because of how the cigarettes, again, constrict your airways, but speed your heart up, make your heart beat a lot faster. Because nicotine, the drug in cigarettes, which we're going to talk more about, is a stimulant, just like caffeine. And if you've ever had caffeine, what does that do to the body? Usually, right, it speeds you up, right? Gives you more energy, makes you more active, more hyper, right? So again, that's what nicotine does, is it speeds you up, makes your heart beat faster. So now I have some questions for you. So I want you to try to answer these, but I'm going to tell you the answer as well. So try to answer these at home. So why do people have trouble quitting smoking? Why do you think somebody would have a hard time quitting smoking? If you said because they are addicted, that is correct, right? They're addicted. And that makes it really difficult to try to quit. So what is the drug in cigarettes called that people get addicted to? If you're paying attention, I already said this. What is the drug in cigarettes called that people get addicted to? It is nicotine. Nicotine, again, is that addictive drug in all tobacco products, including cigarettes. And so you might know somebody who smokes, right? An older person, maybe somebody in your family or a neighbor or a friend, right? A lot of us know somebody who smokes. And maybe you've asked them before to quit, right? So if you've ever asked them to try to quit before, what do they say? If you know someone who smokes and has asked them to quit, what have they told you? What have they said? Well, a lot of times they might say that it's really hard. It's really hard because the person's addicted to nicotine. So that's why it's easier to never start smoking or to never try any of these tobacco products than it is to get addicted and to try to quit. Now, it's not impossible for someone to quit. Lots of people can quit, but a lot of times it can be really hard and really difficult and take a lot of work. So that's why it's much easier just to stay away from it, never use them, never get addicted, than it is to try to quit. And so, what is addiction? What does that mean? That word addiction. If you've ever heard that before, it means that the person has no control and they cannot stop, even if they know that it's bad for them. So unfortunately, right, a lot of times people maybe want to stop smoking. They don't want to smoke anymore. They know that it can hurt their body, that it can cause them harm, but they can't stop because unfortunately they don't have any more control because the addiction, again, goes to their brain, changes their brain, makes their brain think that they need this drug. And so they can't stop it. They need it and keep using it more and more and more, even when the bad things start to happen. And I want you to know that if you know and love or care about anyone who smokes or uses tobacco, that is totally okay. And again, people who smoke are not bad people by any means. A lot of times, what happened was these cigarette companies lied to people. So if you know an older person, an adult, like your parents or your grandparents, aunts and uncles who smoke cigarettes, they maybe grew up during a time when we didn't know all the things that we know today about cigarettes because these companies used to lie to people about them to try to trick them into using these cigarettes. And they knew this drug nicotine would get them hooked, get them addicted, so they couldn't stop. So again, a lot of times, unfortunately, people were tricked and they were fooled by these lies into starting smoking. And now, unfortunately, they get addicted and it's really hard to stop. And I want you to know also that these companies only care about one thing, right? What do you think these cigarette companies care about the most? Why would they lie to people to try to trick them into smoking and using cigarettes? If you said money, you're right. Right? That's what they care about, right? They want people to get hooked and to use them and get addicted so that they can get really, really rich. They know that these products cost money, and once you're hooked, once you're addicted, you'll keep buying them more and more and more and more. So again, unfortunately, all they care about is making money, right? Even when people might be getting sick or that it hurts us. And just to show you how much money it is, right? So in Pennsylvania, the average pack of cigarettes is about $8, right? Sometimes a little bit more, sometimes a little bit less, around $8. So $8 a pack, and the average smoker is a pack a day smoker. So that's $8 that you're spending every day. So that's $56 a week, which also equals out to be $240 a month. And if you smoke every day for a whole year, that's $2,920. $2,920 for a whole year of smoking. So just think about all that money. That's almost $3,000 that you could do with something, something else, right? With your money. Maybe you want to go, I don't know, buy sneakers, or maybe you want to go buy a basketball hoop, or maybe you want to go buy, I don't know, right? Whatever it is that you're interested in. And for all my athletes out there and all my musicians out there, again, we need our heart, we need our lungs, right? To be able to sing, to play musical instruments, to be able to play sports, to run, to swim, right? To do all those fun things that we want to do. So that's why we need to make sure we're taking really good care of our body. And just to show you what this looks like when somebody smokes, I have my friend here that can show you the different lungs, right? So we have our healthy lung over here, this one right here. Notice that it's nice and pink and smooth. And unfortunately, here is our unhealthy lung from somebody who smoked, right? And so if this was a real person's lung, this white part right here represents cancer. That would be a tumor like lung cancer. And these bubbles right here would be hard. And unfortunately, those would represent parts of the lung that are damaged, that no longer can take in oxygen. So, what it can be like is, kind of like, again, breathing into a a balloon that has a hole in it, right? You can't get all the air in. This lung is not able to function at full capacity. You're not able to fully blow up this lung because of the hard spots and the damage from this lung. You can again also notice not only the bumpiness of it, but also the color, right? Notice that it's obviously a lot darker than the healthy lung, right? This lung unfortunately has been turned black from all the chemicals and all the damage from smoking. So again, a healthy lung would be like a nice wet sponge, right? It's nice and soft and squishy, or a balloon, right, that you can fully blow up, get all the air in, all the air out, no problem. And an unhealthy lung from smoking or from tobacco would be like trying to blow up a balloon that has a hole in it, right? You can get some of the air in, but it's not going to fully get all that air in and out like a balloon that does not have a hole in it, or a hard sponge, right, that no longer can get that water in it, right? So unfortunately, those hard spots on the lung make it really difficult for someone to breathe. And it's because the lungs also have this stuff in it. So this is phlegm or mucus. Pretty gross, right? This is like when we're sick, right? And we cough this stuff up. And so unfortunately, when our lungs become damaged from the chemicals from cigarettes, they're not able to clean themselves out like they do normally. And so it's kind of like being sick all the time and having this phlegm or having this mucus stuck in our lungs. That again, it can also come out our nose or get stuck in our throat, right? And that's why a lot of times when people smoke, they cough, right? Because there's these chemicals in the cigarettes, and again they get stuck in the lungs and make it really difficult to breathe, and we got all this yucky gunky phlegm that gets stuck in our lungs. And we also can't forget about the damage to our mouth. This is Mr. Gross Mouth right now. This is obviously somebody who unfortunately has been smoking for a really long time. You can notice, right, all the damage to the teeth, right? Some of the teeth are falling out. We got all this inflammation, right? Redness and soreness and infection all around the mouth and the gums, several different cancers and tumors right here in the mouth. Cancer and tumors, right? And even on the side. And our tongue. So this is a condition called hairy tongue. Doesn't mean that hair is actually growing on the tongue, but the tongue actually becomes discolored. It actually looks like molds growing on the tongue because it kills our sense of taste and our sense of smell. So you're not able to taste all the yummy, good food that you like, right? Or be able to smell it. Now, the good news is when you quit smoking, this is one of the first things that comes back. Your tongue's able to heal itself and your taste buds are able to come back so that you're able to taste your food again. But yeah, again, we forget about how damaging smoking and tobacco is to our mouth. And the last thing, well, I just need to grab it, is my giant cigarette. So again, this just shows some of all those chemicals that are in the cigarette. We got a dead mouse in here because there's rat poison in the cigarette. So I always joke, if the rat were to eat the cigarette, the rat would die. But the rat's smart. The rat's gonna not go anywhere near a cigarette. It's gonna stay away because it wants to stay alive. Right? We got mothballs and dynamite and lighter fluid and ammonia, which is fluorine toilet cleaner, and helium and gasoline additive and candle wax and battery acid. And we got different plastics and different metals and car exhaust, right? Carbon monoxide, all these things. And this is just a snapshot of some of the chemicals because there's anywhere from 4,000 to 7,000 different types of poisonous toxic chemicals, a lot of which we know can make us sick and cause things like cancer. So again, these are unfortunately why the lungs turn that black color and why we get that phlegm and that mucus and why our teeth start to fall out from all those chemicals from smoking. And the last thing that I wanted to mention is about e-cigarettes, electronic cigarettes, or vaping, because maybe you've heard about these before, and they can look all different shapes and sizes, all different colors. I have some here I can show you. Right, so these things, right? These are some vapes. Maybe you've also heard about the Juul. The Juul is a brand of vape that, again, is really popular among young kids. So, again, no matter what they look like or what they're called or what their name is, they all do the same thing, which is they all deliver chemicals like nicotine, right, that addictive drug to the brain. And this is another way that unfortunately these companies try to trick us into using these products, because a lot of times they come in different flavors. These are pods, and they're all different colors with different flavors, right? And so again, we might think that they're going to taste good or they're going to be yummy, right? Or it's no different than, regular food or fruit that we like. But these again have chemicals in it, and they have the addictive drug nicotine in it. No different than a cigarette. And your brain doesn't know if you're vaping an electronic cigarette or if you're smoking a regular cigarette, because that drug nicotine's the same and it can get addicted the same way. So we don't want to be tricked or fooled by these into thinking that they're healthier or safer or better for us. For kids, they are definitely not healthy, safe, or something that we should be using, because again, they have those chemicals in it that can hurt our body, right? And also hurt our brain and get us addicted. So even though they try to trick us with the different flavors, make us think that it might be something good or something yummy, right? This is chemicals and this has the drug nicotine in it. It unfortunately is not anything that's safe or something we should be putting into our body. Well, thank you so much for joining me on this video for World No Tobacco Day. I hope you learned something and hope you had fun. I look forward to seeing you next time. Bye.